said, hold on, what did he say? Just help people and be open to views. Lex has been helping people more.
But wait, I wish I could. But hold up. Hold.
I'm holding, bro. I'm holding.
Hold.
Let me hold my bag of Doritos. This is about to get spicy.
I'm gonna hold my breath until you spit it out.
If we are open to you, if we are open, no, shh. Like you should let me handle it. If we open to you, why can't you be open to us? I wish I could type that fast.
Bro, that took you way too long to say that.
It's Archie we're talking about. He has to over dramatize everything.
Yeah, but bro, I was holding my breath the entire time. I'm a smoker.
That type of kid to get roasted, and
if
then
we
when
are
he
open
gets
to you,
home,
why can't you be open to us?
Honestly, the point I was trying to get at is that Vlex is helping people almost every single day, and then when Lucio's like, "Well, go help people and be more open." How many people do you want him to help? He can't help the entire damn community. You got to do something too,
bro. Literally, like almost every friend I've made on Onigiri, I've made by helping them. Yeah.
Hold on. Okay. Now, anyways.
Oh, sorry.
So, this has been quite an interesting endeavor. Okay, so I do want to kind of, I guess, detail more about the story of arrogance that I did have. Now, I did start hanging around a bunch of people who did inflate my ego, I guess, in one way or another. But they, without mentioning any names, they made it higher than what it should have been, or I took it a step too far. So, right around the time that I was actually able to get with Tanking into a VC, like he wanted to talk to me in a VC, and so we started talking and everything, and we started to get onto speedrunning in Onigiri, about how we, how each of us accomplishment and all this and that. And he told me something that actually really humbled me. He said, "Vlex, I want to let you know that the same kind of internet that you have, I have. Like, I had it. And I was able to get all those times. So I think you're actually offering just an excuse." In his way, he was telling me, I believe anyway, that I was holding myself back, and that at the same time, while having an ego that was higher than Lucifer's ego, I was also at the same time putting myself down in an unhealthy way. So he helped humble me because he put me back in a realistic standard. So since then, I've been going around, I've been beating Tanking's times if I can. I just beat his Temple of Dancing Shadow. I just beat that, and I was really proud about that. Now, I did say, I think I said it to somebody in Discord. I think it was on video chat with somebody in Discord, and I said, man, if I don't get a big head about this. No, I think I said it to Archie, and then Archie said, watch, he about to come back and beat it in a minute. And I'm like, Archie, be quiet. It's like, it's a big aspiration, because Ted has known that I've always wanted to be like Tanking. And like, I tried my hardest, but I didn't want to exactly be like a mimic of Tanking. I wanted to grow in that stage. I wanted to be on his level, but not fully be him. And Ted said a while back that I'm approaching that stage, like I'm getting there, and like, I'm getting there rapidly. And Tanking did say I was the new best player around. Now, I haven't said that in a while. Now, he said it, so I feel like it has a lot of credibility behind it, but that was also, I think, one of the things that I took a little too much for granted, because there are, and I told myself this at least once or twice, that we were getting new people are coming in every day, and so I see these new players come in, but I think why I'm sometimes hesitant to help out players is because I can tell the people that will treat this game with respect, people that won't. But let me save that for whenever I'm actually done with the story of arrogance. And then he started, after he told me that, after he humbled me essentially that way, and he told me that he watched all these Odachi YouTubers and they all suck, And I said, I know Dachi YouTuber. He said, how you stink too? No, I don't stink, you stink. It's like, compared to PC players, we stink. And I was like, okay, you know what? You're right. You know what? You got me thinking. We stink compared to them. Just because that we have, you know, just when it comes to just stuff in general, tanking really did help me. So after that, I realized it because I asked him, like, how strong of a Odachi player do you think I am? And he said, well, like, I think what he was basically getting at is that I was good, that I am a good player, but I still have to catch up to people like Shadius. I have to catch up to people like him. I have to catch up to people like Badass Wings Ult. And, you know, Badass Wing in general, because if he's that good to make an ult with Tempest and all that stuff, I can only imagine what his main is like. But he was basically insinuating that I had a lot of room left to grow, but that was an excellent thing, because if I can perform this well, at the current level that I'm at, and I don't let arrogance or my ego get in the way, then that means I might grow even past tanking. Maybe. I don't know. Because he has a lot of gear that I don't, and he knows more things than I don't. I mean, that I don't know. He knows a lot of stuff. And, basically after those 2 meetings with tanking, after that, I started to look at the game a little bit more differently, back to how I originally used to be, and that's when I talked with Patch, and, or known as Miss Ashley. I'm pretty sure most people know him by Patchalooey. But we started talking, and he said, and I quote, he was like, oh, finally we got Vlex back, because I said I admit my arrogance where it was, and so I killed it. And he said it on a Discord chat, like, oh, we got the Vlex back, the Vlex that I respect. And so when I asked him, how good of an Odachi player do you think I am? And he said, that's hard to say, but you can be compared to any ninja tanking, Shadius, and Harute, I believe. I'd have to go back and look at the Discord, but those were just the 3 names that he mentioned. He said, you're up there with them, like you can be compared to them. Patch, if you're ever watching this video and I've misquoted you, I apologize about it, but that's what I gained from our conversation. Now, the old me that was being really egotistical about it would have let that go into my head, but it didn't. It helped put things in perspective, showed where I needed to grow Odachi-wise. Because Harute, I know he hasn't played in a while, but Harute, I believe, is kind of like Noel. Like, Noel hasn't played in forever, but I bet if Noel came back on the game, he'd blow straight past us all. Because he'd be like, oh, I gotta grind this, I gotta grind this, I gotta grind this. Got it. And he'd blow straight past us. No stop. No pedals to the metals. He would zip. And, I really would feel like he would do that. And I feel like Harute, if he came back, he'd probably zoom right past me. Just because he has that mentality. He's like, okay, dude, I left this game 124, but I'm about to catch up to Lyra. I'm gonna catch up to Oro. I'm gonna catch up to all these old guys. I'm gonna get there. I'm gonna get to 131. I'm gonna get to 132. So that's what I said on the Discord server. Is like, he has something I don't have, and I need to figure out what it is. That's the main thing. I need to figure out what it is. And when I do figure out what it is, then I can say I'm halfway there at his level. Because I had to figure out what's going to make me equal to them in my own way. And I do honestly like it when people do offer their opinions. And yeah, Motoku has a point. You know, I am a player. And I'm not the end-all be-all. And I will never be the end-all be-all. And I'm glad I'm not. Because that means someone's going to do something better than me, not a robot. Not a robot. Not that robot. Okay, that confused me a little bit, sorry. So anyways, so whenever people... kind of lost my train of thought. Sorry. What was the last thing I said? Oh. Anyway.
About someone having a point about you being the end-all be-all.
Oh yeah, okay. That helps me. So I know I'm not the end-all be-all and never will be. I'm happy about that, because that means that there's someone out there who can still teach me something. Even if it's some tidbit of information I didn't know. His advice should differ from other highlights. Well, to be honest, the advice I do offer other people, it's generally off stream. Like really juicy information, I kind of keep that off stream. But there was something that I did keep a cap on that I said I was never going to tell Buddy, but I said it in a stream not too long ago, and that was about getting your to 150, like your main stat 150. I know there's a lot of JP players who talk about that, but not a lot of people knew about that here in the NA. Magenta knew, and then some other people knew. But, you know, I told them, well, hey, if you get your, like, say, like, your sword, get your power stat to 150, and you'll get extra affinity, you'll get extra power. Like, if your sword, axe, or Odachi, you get your power stat to 150, because that'll help you out a lot. Same for twin swords and bows, like, get your dex up to 150 plus. And I know there's an NA player who actually does have his dex at 150, and that is Rain. You know, the guy that spelled R4NYE. I think that's how you say his name, Rain. But he has his dex at 150. And even tanking in mid-ed, he said the only people that could match my bow build are Hotaru and... Oh, what's his name? Rain. There we go. Sorry. But anywho, you know, he said that those are the only people. I was like, dang, Rain had to be an excellent bow user for tanking to admit, like, hey, these people, they match me. You know, like, keep an eye open. He said, you can learn something from them. Learn something from them.
Wait, so you're telling me because he's restating...
I don't 100% agree with what Tanking has to say all of the time, though. Like, Tanking wasn't the only person I learned from. Like, I learned a bit from Hirai, but there's...
I'll be 100% honest with you. I'm understanding what they're saying, right? Right? I understand what they're saying because I've been with you some of the time, or half of the time, or enough time. I understand what they're saying, but here's the problem with what they're saying, right? When they're saying that, it's still, it's whether, I understand they're saying, okay, you know, restating a high levels like facts or, you know, opinions or et cetera, you know, because you're speaking a big name, you know, et cetera. You get the whole gist. Like, he's speaking a big name, he's using a big name to back up what he's saying. But here's what I don't get about MS. I'm gonna call him that. He wants us to be open-minded to them, even though they came at us at a hostile or a trolling way. Where we could have actually just stayed in a way where we could have did this off stream, right? And actually talk about this off stream, off topic, or off anything, and just talk man to man, just talk in general, and actually get two ideas out and just talk it out and hash it out whoever you want to. But the way you came at this was not stating that you're open-minded one bit. You're stating that, hey, I don't like anything you're doing, and I'm not going to be open-minded as you're being, you want us to be. So it's like there's no open-minded. From the beginning of this conversation, there was not an open-minded or rational mind. But when I talk to you, MS, he knows that he has like something open. Like, he seems cool. Like, I think, you know, he'd be cool to actually talk to. But my thing is, like, we could have did this off stream and actually talk. You feel me? Like, we could have actually did this off stream, talk, and actually know one another. I feel like that was actually logical or thing we could have done in general. You know what I mean? Like, but he went this about a way that made me feel like there was no, like, he didn't want to do this rational. He wanted us, he wanted us to, like, kind of made us, wanted to rattle us and get confused and settle. That's what I felt. Like, I don't know, like, you know, he said, no, thank you for the nerd rage. Like, I get where you're coming from, MS, but in the same sense, where you're coming from, what you just did also kind of, like, doesn't shake that you're trying to, oh, well, I help low level players, or I'm, you know, I am open-minded. But, you know, there's different ways to go about a thing. There's different, we could have talked about this, guild to guild. We could have talked about this, you know, our guild leader to your guild leader. We could have talked about this in a whisper. But you came at this at a whole different manner that doesn't state what you're talking about to your action. That's what I'm not getting from you. Like, I don't know who else. I don't really need people to agree with you, but that's what I feel. Like, I just feel like I can see you as a good, like, I would be able to conversate with you and have a good topic. I mean, have a good conversation one-to-one. It'd be cool. But your action and what you're speaking it's kind of conflicting how I feel right now. Like we could have did this a whole different way, bro.
Okay. Well, to continue with what I was saying, because my stream did kind of die, and my internet's being really crappy tonight. So, anywho, no, I mean we have the whole stream on your channel, so it doesn't really bug me. I do agree with Tanking on a lot of what he has to say, but there was one thing I kind of disagreed with him on, and well, there are a few things that I want to do just my own way. Now, I always liked, for example, I like the title Usugi Kenshin because it gives me extra element. If he told me to switch, like today, if he told me to switch to Yamamoto, that Yamamoto title that gives you 40% Odachi affinity, I would tell him, nah, that's not for me, because I like the Usugi Kenshin because I'm a hybrid. It gives me more element. And I just backed up my own ideology by asking somebody else. Again, I asked Patch, somebody who's not a yes man, he told me like, hey, if you're a hybrid, go with Usugi Kenshin. If you're pure, like pure Odachi, go with Yamamoto. And I was like, okay, so you basically just reasserted what I've always thought. Use Usugi Kenshin. Why are you using a title like a different one? You know? And with using that different title, he basically, well, like with utilizing that title, I'm sorry. Oh man, my stream keeps crashing. Fine, I'm just gonna talk to Archie's. I'm just gonna talk to Archie's stream because
I'm streaming. If that helps, I'm streaming.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, boy. We're all streaming.
I mean, I'm streaming Siege, so
Close enough.
You
the
fucked
conversation's still there.
Yeah.
You're the odd man out, Ted. God dang it.
It's okay, Ted. We still love you.
Hey,
Somewhat.
I love you guys.
Anyways, to just carry on with what I was saying, but I'm just gonna say it through Archie stream because I'm getting kind of frustrated at my internet as it stands.
Word up.
I
mean, I'm never.
Now, as it is, there are just some things that I'm going to take from Tanking. I'm going to take it as his advice. But there are even certain things that I've seen Deathstep do. Oh, that sounds like a good thing to do. It's just not something that I'm going to fully go with because it just doesn't seem like something I should do for myself. Like, for instance, I like having Slicing Slugger on my Rev 3 Odachi. Always will. But that won't change me from putting like Double Sumabe Gaishin on a different Rev 3 to see how it will turn out in terms of DPS. Anytime Tanking has come up with a build, I kind of liked how he would show me it, but again, I didn't like it because, you know, while that gave me some foundation of what maybe I should be making, I always find that I do better when I put my own ideology behind it, my own thought. To make a point, my friend Siding and I, we were running POR Oni yesterday, and he told me, hey, what's your crit force on your build, like your build you're using for POR? And I said, well, that's about 170 crit force. And he said, well, why don't you have more crit force? Like, when you crit, like, you'll do more damage, is basically what he was getting at. I was like, well, the build I have now is hitting up to 5 mils with an arrow, with a restriction Geki. Like, it's hitting high numbers. Like, Archie has seen that before. He has seen it hit 5.1 mil. And which I figured out, Archie, from citing that Strike Boost doesn't help in POR, so that 5.1 mil was completely of my own merit. Was above my own build, actually going to work. So, continuing with that conversation, I like using the New Moon mag that I picked up from a bazaar. It was really cheap, but it gives me like 52 dark, and it has no negative holy. So I was like, wow, the less negative holy, the better, because if I'm not wrong, Kaguya has holy on her because she's Lunar Spirit Kaguya. So I like using that build. It's this very same build that if you were to go to the solo Oni POR times, my name is up there. No, I'm not really high in the rankings, but I use that very same build to solo POR by myself with my bows. So I know I'm doing things right. Yeah, it's not the best. I get that, it's not the best. But I'm glad it's not the best because that means there's somewhere I can go onward and upwards too. And somebody told me the other time, it was on my Odachi Guide video, they said, why don't you use Fated Contractor? And I told them why I like Confining Terror. But I also told them at the same time, like, if you don't want to use Confining Terror, that's fine, use Fated. Like, I think I've told people in my guides, ultimately, I'm not, it's just advice. It's not, I'm ordering you to do this, I'm commanding you to do this. It's ultimately advice. You don't want to use Confining Terror, that's cool, but this is how Confining Terror has helped me, was the main point of anything that I was saying in any of my guides. It's like, oh, this is how this helped me, or this is how this helped me. And, like, I know, like, the Twin Blade Slash thing, whenever it came to the White Brilliance, like, that was of my own volition. Like, and then it was being said later on that night in Discord, and I was like, oh, so some other people are thinking of something I thought about all by myself. Because I asked myself, well, if Twin Blade Slash is doing 2 million on a Nova per tick, I wonder how much you will do on a White Brilliance. And so I did the damage, and it was like 4 mils, capping out at 5 mil. So I was like, huh, so what about if I use the assist character IOA to give me 60 extra wind, because the build I was using had a Chocolate and Lychee, so it took away 30 wind, so I only had 130 wind to play with. Give me 60 extra wind and give me 50% extra attack. So this was basically letting me know if I had 190 wind, and the Slice element I had, plus the Lightning element and the Holy element, and I had 72k attack, that I could hit upwards to 10 mil on a tick as like the maximum form of damage. And I thought that was really cool. That one day, if I just build myself up right, I can have that 72k attack with Twin Swords. I mean, I can have it right now through Aoi-chan, but, it's only for like a minute at the most, I think, and that's not a long time in a dungeon, especially whenever you're fighting a boss who has a crap ton of health. Ultimately, to Lucia or Motoku, if y'all are watching Archie's stream, I do have my own individuality, for the most part. And I say for the most part because there are some things that I do copy, like with my sword ult, I really go based on what Archie says is good and what Hirai says was good, since they're both excellent sword users in their own way. So I kind of am mimicking them for the time being, but I've also kind of broken off in my own way with my sword build. Like, I think my Skyrending fused build has like 254 crit force or something like that. Has like has some decent crit force to it, and pretty good critical, and plus a good sword title as well. It required that you hold a pair of Twin Blades at a certain level in your inventory. But when it comes to Odachis, when it comes to Twins, Spear, because I play around with that a little bit, staffs, because I have a few offensive staffs, I tend to do what I do best, and that is just play the game how I want to play it. Because I can't be tanking, I can't be Archie, I can't be Ted, I'm ultimately myself. So that's how I can get, times to match tanking's times, or beat tanking's times, or heck, even go around. That's fine, find what you like and expand on it. Yeah, and that's what I've been doing. It's just most of the time people don't see it on stream, because what I usually show is a Kage Hide, a Ref 3 Odachi, a Earth, and a Bloodsucker, or my Halberd staff, or like, I don't showcase like a bunch of like ideas I've had behind weapons on stream most of the time, because nobody really asks. Like, a creative idea Archie and I had back in the day was the infamous, I say infamous like it's a bad thing, but the infamous staff stun video, where I think we did show on a stream that we can stun the Gyuki in the Zunko event, and that had us kind of stoked, because then we could stop him from running around so much, and then we could hit him with the arrow rain from our Zunkos. I thought that was really cool, that was really neat. 5-scroll Zunko, by the way, soft key is really freaking strong. And I do agree with tanking that Zunko does deal like some of the highest DPS, if not the absolute high DPS when it comes to her element. Like, she can't be the strongest Vanguard, she's just not. Like, she may deal the highest DPS, in her class, but she's not the strongest Vanguard.
She's OP.
Her niche thing, yeah, she is OP, but like she's not the strongest. Like the strongest, I would think in terms of versatility would be would be tied with Miyamoto and Medea. Like those two are tied for versatility because like I know Ted can confirm this, but Mia has like access to like a plethora of what was it? You know, elements like lightning, dark, rain, fire.
My Miyamoto
Wind.
has wind, holy, dark, fire, mountain. Just pretty much all of it.
Yeah, she has pretty much all the elements.
No poison though.
Yeah, no poison though. no venom slashes or venom piercing strikes in this.
No, that would be cool though.
That would be cool. Just watch her pull out a bow and use venom arrow. Just
yeah, fucking first Vanguard to be able to kill gold arenas. That'd be cool.
Yeah, that'd be cool. First Vanguard to cap Poison Skelly with poison. Yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
Gold Skelly with poison, let's go. But ultimately, like, while I do agree with a lot of high levels with what they have to say, there's just some people I don't agree with on things they have to do. Like, what was it? I think Pop put double lunge step and then Thunder Beast Akane-chan on her Falling Star, and I didn't like that because I felt like it was just misplaced. But then I did consider the fact that Pop is probably running max cooldown cut, so she could probably just use double lunge step and then be fine. But I don't know, for some reason I don't like Thunder Beast Akane-chan. I've heard really good things about it, but it doesn't offer you iframes and you're just there. You can't roll out of it or block like you could with the original Thunder Beast. Or still can, rather, with the original Thunder Beast. Like, Zunda Excalibur, I love that move so much because I cast one cast on Satan and it killed him. Like, just that one cast killed Satan flat on health. And for that to happen, I've already measured his health. I have a— don't you dare make me like Martin. I don't want to get shot.
Bruh.
Wait, MS, is your name? Are you a first gen? I just realized that. I think this might be a first gen.
Motoku, yeah, probably is a first gen.
I think he is a first gen. That's all I was doing. Because I looked at his thing, I remember the name, and I was like, I think he's a first gen player. That is all Oni.
Oni players can come together, huh? You're not wrong on that.
I really like that.
Really
nice.
There is kind of a reason that while at work, everybody always comes rushing to me for a solution, because I try to find the most peaceful solution to a problem rather than ultimate destruction. Because I know I talk a lot of mad shit to Archie off stream, like I call him like a dookie head, or like I don't know about you, like okay yourself.
But you're not wrong.
But yeah, and
Wait,
so
what?
He wants me to summon.
Nothing, Archie, we love you.
Lying.
Flex, I know you got the crit. I know you got the crit force mags. I need them.
105.
I don't have 105s.
I think what's kind of crazy, bro, is like, I think it's still rare. Okay, like, hear me out real quick. Hear me out. So, Seth, you playing Onigiri. Hope you're playing Onigiri-ish. You know, I don't know. I'm just gonna say ish. Vlex is still playing Onigiri. Archie, I'm still playing Onigiri. The three people who are watching me, three people who are watching me, you guys are probably playing Onigiri. You're probably the ones in front of me. Let me ask you this. Do you guys think it's hard for the first generation to new generation to come together? Because that's what I kind of, like, I want to hear everybody's opinion, and then I'll give my opinion. Go ahead. So, like, start off how you ever want to. Seth, Hope, Vlex. I mean, Vlex, we'll leave you last, because you got a long-ass speech.
For real, though. You're not wrong.
So, yeah. So, Seth, what do you think?
No, don't pick me first. I
I'll go first.
Make someone else go.
Alright, so what's the thing again? Topic?
Do you think it's hard for first generation and new generation to come together? Like, do you think that's hard?
Yes.
Okay. Oh shit.
Not from my viewpoint per se, because I am kind of a scrub, but I've adapted and grown kind of close to old players, very, very old players. I know a couple, and they seem pretty cool with me because I'm just that person that, hey, if I need help, I'll ask. I'm gonna get on your nerve, You're OP, I'll take your knowledge, try to learn off of you, you teach me something, and I can try to take that and evolve it to something that I want to do in the future. But the thing about it is that we coming out with all this new shit. We got EXP dungeons, we got skill card dungeons, we got trading. The people in the older generation didn't have that. So the people in the older generation might be kind of butthurt about all these scrubs, per se, getting all of these, let me just say, buying all these Supreme mats, making her Supreme in about a week or two, per se, when it took you about probably 2 months to make your Supreme. Gargs in general, reward up. I have no problem with that at all because I feel like everybody should, have a chance to, get some shit. And it is easier for these new players. I'm not gonna lie, it is kind of easier for them. But hey, it just be like that sometimes. There's really nothing you can do. You just gotta accept the fact. You can't get mad at them. Be like they're scrubs. They had everything easy. They're the second born child. They get everything off easy, But that's just what you have to deal with. You're the veteran. You're the older sibling, and as the older sibling, you just have to guide that younger child. But some people just really don't care. As you can see, a lot of new players are just asking for carries nowadays, or just sitting in a rift saying that, oh, I like the game, but like I don't really care for it that much. I don't care about my level. I saw a twin sword user. He was a twin sword user. He had all twin swords. I was like, yo, your twin sword, why do you have 3 Skyrim on? And it was like, oh, somebody told me to buy them off him. I was like, oh, what was it? He said, I forgot the name, but it was a 130. So I'm like, It may have not have been an old player because, like I say, EXP dungeon, but that's just an example of how older players are just taking taking advantage of newer players instead of actually helping the newer players. Like, it's not a thing that everybody does, but it's something to be aware of, and yeah, that's why it's there you go.
Seth?
So, I think it is pretty damn hard for them to come together because at this point, it's like, yes, a lot of the older players sit there and they're like, oh yeah, y'all have it so easy now, y'all can go through anything, but at the same time, if you just kind of walk into the game open-mindedly and don't let everything be handed to you, it's not that hard for a new player to get along with older ones. Vlex wasn't Gen 1, for what I know. I'm pretty sure he wasn't. He came in way after.
I'm a new gen.
He came in and literally, he just fit right in with the rest of us. I was Gen 1, but I stopped playing because I just kind of got bored of the game. But Vlex, literally, he just basically pranced right in, and he's like, I take the game for what it is, and just fit right in with everyone else. But most of the new players, they'll come in and they're like, okay, how do I catch up to everyone else as fast as possible? So then that's when the trading comes in, the XP tickets and all that, and that's why everyone's like, yeah, no, new players are kind of weird, but it's like, well, they just have things to catch up to us. We've had more time, they have more materials. We both had the same advantages.
Okay. Ted?
What?
He's streaming Siege. Why would you ask him?
Because I'm trying to ask anybody, bro. I'm just trying to ask
Teddy
them.
is so unaware of the situation. He's just like, huh?
Bro, I don't even play Onigiri anymore.
Okay, my
Cost. I don't play Onigiri either. You can't use that excuse.
The only game I play is the game with my refrigerator, and it doesn't really work anymore.
You want my point of view?
Go ahead.
I never really found it hard to make friends with anyone new gen or old gen, but I feel like there is a gap that you have to cross as a new gen player to become friends with an older gen player, because there are things that the Gen 1, 2, and 3, for example, will look for in a person to see if they're gonna be if that's gonna be something that they want to say, yes, this is my friend. For example, something that Vlex brought up was if you buy a Tempest. He hasn't brought it up today, I will say that right now, but he has brought it up to me in the past. If you buy a Tempest, that's you basically saying that you're not willing to put in the effort to get strong in the game. That's you spending your money to get to where you want to be without earning where you want to be. And that's something that I think older gens look for, is that you're willing to put in the time and effort, the blood, sweat, and tears to get good at the game. So I think as long as you're willing to put in that effort, I don't think you'll have that much of a problem becoming friends with an older gen player. And I think that's why Vlex succeeded in becoming friends with Tanking, for instance, who's stupidly old gen, and Hirai, who's been there since day one. They're both, because Vlex was there and he was he made his white flash in 2 days. You can't say he done put in the time and effort to get what he wants. And that's why I think he hit a note with the older gen players, that they liked him. Just because they saw that he had the I don't know, just the persistence to stick with it. And I think a lot of new gen players, now that there are bazaars and as Pope brought up the EXP dungeon, that there's a gap. That's...
But yeah, I mean, you do have a point. I'm allowed.
Archie, quit being a dick.
Yeah, when easy not.
What?
Never.
Archie being mean.
The first one to talk.
Honestly, first he kicks Vlex off of his stream and makes his own, and it's just being mean.
Right. So greedy.
You just want all the views to yourself, don't you?
No.
Yeah, ultimately, I do appreciate it, because this was a night where a lot of people got to learn about other people. And see, those three people thought I was just, Vlex-Jin being arrogant. I think ultimately they thought I was still in that arrogant stage. And it was really easy to see, especially in some earlier streams where Archie and I were calling other people trash blatantly. And, I can't apologize for those, because maybe it was well worth saying. I have to go back and watch those videos, but I'm not going to apologize for something that's so far back that it's irrelevant now. Because what matters now is the present you, and what can you in the present offer. And I've told a lot of people at work, a lot of the kids that work under me, be better than the you of yesterday. If you can be better than the you of yesterday, then you yourself have grown as an individual. And I think that's ultimately what I like to give people, because when I help out lower levels, I want lower levels who are going to keep playing the game. I don't want to give energy towards somebody just for them to quit 2 months later because they're like, the game's too hard, so I just quit. I'm like, well, why? Why'd you quit? And it's like, well, it's because the game's too hard. Or, well, what's hard about the game? Let me know so I can tell you that it's easy. We talked to this person called, what was their name? Their name was Raspberry, and they said that Purple Mephi was something, a hurdle they could be awesome, and I let them know, hey, I can do it. let me help you. Like, turn on the share play right now. I will show you that your character is clearly capable of doing it. Because I have helped so many lower levels through share play. That's why Hey, it's Hirai. Hirai is on my stream. Here, it's Hirai.
Yo, tell Hirai.
Hey, why
He's
notice
my
me, senpai?
Everyone immediately starts talking over Vlex, just like, oh, hey, Harai. Like, oh no, Vlex, shut up now. Hey, Harai.
Bruh, Hirai, you missed the part where I was, like,
you smell
boosting
like
your ego
toilet
more than it
paper
needs to be.
Harai, you made our party into a chaos hole.
Hirai, you missed the bit where I was bigging you up, bro. I was making your ego, like, incomprehensibly huge.
You ever just hear Harai and then you instantly get wet?
I can't say
Don't make him go off my stream and be like, nah, I don't want to be here no more.
Just me? Just me? Okay.
Man's fitting to stand up out of his gaming chair like, yeah, nah, I'ma head out.
Alright, I'ma head out.
I'ma head out.
Alright, I'm a farm Benkei.
Essentially, what you missed was just a bunch of people saying I was being overtly arrogant. And I told him that I killed that arrogant stage.
There's a bunch of people being bitches.
LDR. Who said that?
No one. Who said it?
No one wants to fess up to it? Well, I guess
I know
everybody's
who
got
it was, but I'm not gonna snitch.
Okay, well, RT, if you ain't gonna say anything, it's just gonna be 1,000 lashes for you.
I mean, I'm not getting those. I'm out
That's
already.
a little racist. Why you pick Archie out of everyone?
That's all I want to know, bro.
RT's my
Honestly.
Oh, damn. He said Archie's his best friend.
How you gonna
man
pick
is
the black guy to
giving
give lashes to? That's a little racist, G.
Yeah. Why can't you just get the belt?
What? That's worse.
So you want lashes across your back?
Hey, I'll go get my mom's belt. I'll go.
Yeah, get your mama's dog.
Archie, run.
Yeah.
Archie, run in the bathroom and lock the door.
Bro, you don't know? You didn't know?
Archie, all I gotta say is don't be a 6'9".
Archie, listen, run in the bathroom and lock the door. It works every time. I'm not kidding.
Yeah, it is just like how you always say it here, right? You take the high road, and that's how you win. I mean, I was telling them that. I said that my arrogance has basically stopped, and I don't, like... Because they were also saying how I don't... Like, I was shitting on the lower levels, or I was talking shit about them. And everybody else in the stream got confused because I help out lower levels more often than not. Yeah, I am selective. I will admit more recently I've been selective on who I'm helping because I don't want to invest in somebody.
Some people don't deserve.
Not necessarily. It's just like they don't want to play the game at the same level that a lot of other people do.
They are not worthy.
Exactly.
See? No, it's not that they're not worthy. It's the fact that they're just going to waste time for the both of us, and that's just not true. That's not
sat there like,
peasant, you are not worthy of my help.
No. No.
Lex is over here like, so you want me to help you get a Supreme when you're finna go and play Fortnite for the rest of your life.
Vlex sitting at that level 130 bar like, you shall not pass.
Acting like I'm a gate guard or something? No.
I think Vlex is at the point where he's about to kick everybody from this party.
I'm probably gonna be the first one to go because I don't care.
Oh wait, Archie, did you let my auto count join the party?
Yeah, I did, bro. I got you.
Alright.
here I in your chat.
Yeah, it's like I used to tell people to F off and help themselves. Like, you want to get on this level? Go get it, peeps.
Fucking nerd.
I mean, I remember you used to tell me that, and I just kind of said fuck it. So.
Well, I help people to the extent where they need help. Like, I'm not going to sell them a fused, for instance, but I will help them grind for it because I know there were people who helped me grind for my fuse. Like, Archie helped me with all my palace runs to go and get my you know, and help me go and get
Hey, yo,
first wicked piece, like,
actually, Hero helped me.
oh, he did.
Mm-hmm.
How do you help you?
Let's see if he can remember helping me. He helped me with a couple of things. No, I'm talking about Hero helping me and seeing if he can remember. If he... Sure.
But I never imagined that.
Seth be out here
should...
like the entire game.
Why do I feel
yeah, we
like
met in Discord.
Insertion in 10 seconds.
the wedding?
Hazard container location.
You were telling me that you've been at it for a couple of months, at least, maybe 2, at the very least. You were on it.
I'm fat and lazy.
I heard.
Secure the biohazard.
I heard. Whoa. I think you might have to fight me for that title. Whoa, what? Nani? Whoa.
See, that's the... Yeah, that's the kind of stuff, like, I know people mean it, like, whenever they say it. Like, I can hear the sincerity in your voice whenever you said that. And for the most part, I'm just trying to help people. So that's what I'm trying to do. And, like, I think the first time I met Archie... Oh my gosh.
We don't talk
Except, like, forever ago. But
Bro,
our
when
first conversation...
When I first met Archie, he was 124.
He was level 80 and still using an Odachi on his main character.
Old times.
But
Mr.
like,
Mercenary over there.
Yeah, when I first met Archie, he like came up to me in the rift and he was all like, yo, and I was like, oh crap, here comes another high level better than me. He finna shit on my build. Here we go. And so like I was like, sup? Like I was already taking a defensive stance. I was ready to tell him, no, you fuck off. And then he was like, you're doing a good job with Odachi, keep it up. And I was all like, yo, he said I did
Someone's
something
complimenting
good.
me in the game of
Yeah.
Onigiri?
Yeah, because not a lot of people had complimented me at that point. I was like, yo, he said I'm doing something. And I was 120. That was my level. I was 120 whenever I met Archie. 10 whole levels later in about almost a full year. And Archie and I have been friends. Ted and I met way before that. And...
Bro, I knew you when you were 117.
Right fresh out of Yogg when both of us were... No, not fresh out of Yogg. It was like right when Yogg was ending. That's when we definitively start talking. We talked to each other before in the Rift.
Like we saw each other about. It's kind of hard not to see my name.
Yeah.
My name could sort of caught people's eye.
And so we were talking with each other, and then we got through a bunch of stuff, like through Yogg, and I remember telling you, towards the ending days of Yogg, I'm like, hey, you know the normal dungeons, if you have the Natal equipped, that they'll give you the mats for K-Max and things like that, right? And you were like, nigga, what? You were like, "Hi ho, Fujin, away!" Slap, slap, slap.
Bruh, I had 2 days left of that Yog event. I was not fucking about.
Yeah, you were all like, "Yeah, go, go, Fujin, go!"
I equipped myself 2 spicy towels and I was in.
Yep, he was hard on it. He was going, and I don't know. And I just remember helping out Ted.
That was the first and last time Vlex ever saw me grind for anything. The rest of the time,
Not
it
until
just
next
sort of
Yog,
been...
where you'll grind just as hard.
That was back before I even realized that you could hold it down.
Oh yeah, because I knew I could do that shit. I don't know if I was the first one to tell you, or you just realized it on yourself, though.
No, I triggered it once and I was like, hang on. There's more than one. There's more than one red trigger. I gotta try something. I just fucking held down the old one button and my mind exploded.
You can hold
like,
these moves. There's
I was
moves
like,
that can charge.
Umayawa. What?
Wasn't even using it to its full potential. But like, I don't know, ever since I was like 117, like as soon as I got my K-Mags and my Wind Masteries, Thunder Masteries, I remember helping out people immediately after that with, I don't know how many runs of Staten and Ted and I did, how many runs of